Hi everyone, this is Dr. Aitsi-Selmi for another episode of Wise Wednesdays. Today we're talking about 2 questions that can help you live a more present, embodied and fulfilling life and also help you make better decisions. If you're on a journey of self-discovery, of personal development, of deepening your understanding of yourself, then there comes a point where you start to reconnect your thinking and your mind to your emotions and your body. And this is certainly part of transformational coaching work, kind of moving from one phase of life into another. And the reason this happens is because you can't really flow with what wants to happen in your life unless you're sensing what's happening in the moment, but also applying wisdom and reasoning to what's going on so you can navigate. So the 2 functions are essential. There's no point just being stuck in your mind and overthinking things, and there's no point just being in your emotions and being chaotic and driven by feelings. So integrating the 2 is really the holy grail. As you know, most people live in their minds, and there are lots of techniques and lots of schools of thought, ironically, as to what you can do about this. So here I'm just going to make a few suggestions, and if they help you, that's great. And if you don't feel that they can help you, then just leave them. Everybody's different. Everybody needs different practices, different approaches. But the first thing in reconnecting the mind and the body is to, 1, noticing what you feel and getting used to identifying what you feel at any particular moment. Very few people do this. Most people are always trying to figure things out intellectually. And that doesn't work, as I've explained previously. So having a practice of noticing for a period of time what you're feeling at different points in the day and naming it. Evidence shows that naming what you're feeling helps you to integrate it into your experience. So identifying what you're feeling by naming it. So that's number 1. The other practice is to identify how you cut yourself off from your feelings or your experience in any moment. So what do you do that sends you back up, for example, into your overthinking mind? What are the types of thoughts that you have? What are the types of negative thoughts that you have that start to spin? Because, and you may not have realized this, there was an uncomfortable feeling that arose, and suddenly your defense mechanisms kicked in. And there are different types of defense mechanism. Intellectualization is one of them. Repression is another. Displacing onto something or someone else, for example, through blaming. Acting things out unconsciously, just playing out whatever's going on inside, without really taking responsibility for the impact. Passive aggression, that's just to name a few, and everybody's different. Now you can get more specific by naming exactly what you do. So if you're passive aggressive, for example, how do you do that? Is it by not replying to emails or by using the silent treatment? Is it by not inviting someone that you feel has upset you? What is your favorite? What's your go-to defense mechanism? And as you start to make these things conscious, they start to have less hold on you and your life starts to improve. So those are the sort of starting points. Can you get used to feeling and naming your feelings? And can you get used to identifying how you cut yourself off from the feelings and maybe over-intellectualize something and try to figure it out? The classic question is, how can I stop this? How can I get this done? How can I make this happen? But the how is not often the question to focus on. The question to focus on is one of these 2. So, question number 1. How much discomfort can you hold before your defense mechanism kicks in? How much discomfort can you hold in a moment or a situation before your defense mechanism kicks in? And the work around your defense mechanism, identifying your defense mechanism and identifying when you feel uncomfortable, is the groundwork to be able to use this question effectively. So I'm not going to give you any answers here. There aren't any straight answers. They're only your answers. And it's the question itself that provides insight rather than necessarily the answers that you come up with. The answer may change as you keep asking yourself this question over a period of time. The second question is, how much joy can you hold before your defense mechanism kicks in? How much joy can you hold in your body, in your experience, before your defense mechanisms kick in? And this is they're both subtle, but this is a particularly subtle one, because we don't have any reason to believe that we wouldn't want to feel joy in our bodies. But unfortunately, most of us, and our culture, the culture we live in, is more of the socialization involved means that it can't allow for too much of that joyful aliveness, because it can't be necessarily tamed, at least in an adult. So it's tamed in us as children, but then we have a feeling that something's missing and that we're lacking kind of inspiration and passion and enthusiasm, and we feel like we've lost something. So this question is very important for working through this kind of experience. So noticing how much joy can you tolerate or hold before you cut it off, before you stop it with a negative comment or with moving on to something else, a self-deprecating statement. So those are the two questions I want to share with you today. How much discomfort can you hold before your defense mechanisms kick in? And how much joy can you hold before your defense mechanisms kick in? And so if you keep practicing this and keep becoming increasingly aware of how you're manipulating your own experience, your own natural experience, your range for tolerating discomfort and therefore your resilience, as well as your range for acknowledging and receiving joy or experiencing joy will increase. And this gives you much more room to experience life, to take risks, and to create what you really want in your life. There's much more room for your potential to be realized and for things to unfold in a way that is fulfilling and inspiring. So I hope that's helpful. Please leave me any comments if you have any. If you have any suggestions for a topic, please also share that. I'd be happy to try and answer any questions. Thank you for your attention. Until next time, have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.